What's going on, guys? This is Joe from buildassetsonline.com. This is my brother Mike. A very enthusiastic introduction today because we're going to be, reminiscing, thinking about the good old days, and we're going to talk about how I got my start in online business by doing retail arbitrage. And in many ways, it's how Mike got his start too, even though, he didn't do it. It was really the catalyst that kick-started everything and really made us believe that generating an income online from home and building a real business is possible. Even though I don't consider retail arbitrage a real business in many ways per se, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, it just kind of kicked everything off nicely, and really couldn't have asked for anything better in terms of how we started. So
Yeah, it's an income stream. It's not a business. There's certainly a difference, but in the beginning, you don't care. You just want to make money, and that's what this does.
yeah, I think that's one of the key distinctions, Mike. So if you're new to this channel, if you're new to this podcast, we talk about building online businesses, and we view a business online as something that you can sell. I've never seen a retail arbitrage business for sale. Now, you can apply good business principles, build processes around it, have people do your product sourcing, have people do your packing of products, even send it to third-party warehouses, to send to Amazon. Lots of cool stuff like that you can do. But again, we focus on building businesses you can sell. But if you are first getting started, you're at your job, you have no alternate streams of income, and you want to start making money right away, like retail arbitrage is probably the quickest way, wouldn't you say, Mike, in terms of like how fast you get paid out and all that?
Yeah, absolutely, because you're taking advantage of systems that already exist. There's really nothing for you to do that requires your business innovation or your business savvy. You're literally just you're buying a product for less than you know it can sell on Amazon. There's no guesswork. There's no creation of a website. You're just leveraging an existing popular product, and you're leveraging Amazon. So there's really not a lot to it.
Yeah, and I think Amazon pays out. When I was doing it, Amazon pays out like every 2 weeks or so. So what happened to me, I'll just start with my story here, was that so I actually bought a course called oh man, I think it was Amazon Boot Camp, and it was by Jessica LaRue, and we recently developed became affiliates for her course, so I'll leave a link in the description. And the reason we did that is because there's a lot of people watching our channel who maybe they don't have any income online yet, and maybe making a dropshipping website for them is too overwhelming. It's like too hard to start with. That would be the better way to go, in our opinion, if you can do it. But if you're in the position where you've never made any money online and you don't even know if it's possible, retail arbitrage is the way to go because you're going to get feedback really quick. But anyway, yeah, I believe you get paid out every 2 weeks. So literally, when I first bought her course, it was the first online course I ever bought. I heard about it on the Pat Flynn podcast. I believe, yeah, it was 2014. I bought it. I bought it at night. I drove to work. I got home from work, and I watched it the next day. And then the following day, I was on my lunch break at work, driving around with my phone, looking for items in Walgreens to sell. And I found something that first day. I brought it home, and I shipped it. And I think I went out sourcing every single day since then, or almost every single day. And
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you would consider this creating equity, but you can look at it like that. Creating equity, you buy a house, you buy something that's undervalued, because that way you can sell it for more. And I guess it translates here. So there's really no other way to accumulate equity that quick, because you're just taking advantage of what's kind of out in front of you. And so for that reason, it's not as scalable, because there's going to be limited places you can drive to and products you can find. But there's also online arbitrage to where you can find discounts that are even happening, on websites. You bring those to your house, and then you sell them, you send them straight to FBA.
Yeah, and we actually have a student in our course, in our dropshipping course, as well as in our membership, who kind of makes his full time living doing online arbitrage now, right now. And he's working with us because he wants to diversify his income a bit, because it is,
Hmm.
that it's not something you want to have as your sole income stream, in my opinion, but it is very viable and is very good nonetheless. So
Yeah.
one thing I want to point out here is that I'm going to talk a little bit about how my retail arbitrage journey like evolved. And if you just ask me any questions, Mike, if you think I'm leaving anything out or something's confusing. So after I went out that first day sourcing, I had my phone. I was just scanning stuff. If it was profitable, I would send it in. And I went out, like I said, almost every day after that until I was able to quit my job. I think I had around 20 to like, no, not that much. Definitely not that much. I think I had 5 to 10,000 in inventory over when I. So that was over like a 3 or 4 month period after I first started. I built up about 5,000 in inventory, and it was moving really fast because I had like a lot of like one-off products, or just everything was so cheap. I was buying stuff for pennies. I would go everywhere. I'd go Walmart, thrift stores, Walgreens, CVS. I was doing some couponing. I was really just trying to hit it as hard as possible because my goal was to quit my job, and I didn't want to work anymore. And that was it. Like, once I built up the inventory and once I saw that it was moving and this was possible. Oh, and for those of you who aren't familiar, when I say building up the inventory, I'm just referring to how many products you have in FBA, how much inventory you have sitting in the Amazon warehouse. People referred to it back then as feeding the beast, because that was literally what it was. You would just buy the
Yeah.
stuff, send it in, and feed the beast. I would just look at my phone like, oh wow, I'm selling Metamucil today. I'm selling these toys. Like, I was just selling everything. I was selling everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, and once you hit that critical threshold of you have enough inventory there, and as long as you keep it replenished, which is pretty easy to do because in your area or however you're sourcing your inventory, you're gonna have your normal spots. You're gonna find that Walmart that has that clearance section that is just they're bad at inventory management, and the clearance section is always being filled up. And once you develop the eye for it, you can go sourcing almost anywhere. I was finding, after I quit my job, I think this was 2015. I took a trip with my wife to England and Amsterdam to visit some of my friends in England. They're from England. And my friend picked us up from the airport, and we stopped at I don't know what the equivalent is in England. We stopped at like a rest stop or somewhere on the way because we were driving to meet our other friend, which was like 3 hours away in Chester in England. And so we stopped at this gas station or like big rest stop. And he's like, and they were actually doing some retail arbitrage at the time in the UK. They were reselling chocolates, glass jars, all sorts of crazy stuff. And they were having some success with it, pretty decent amount of success actually. And he's like, he says to me, I want to see the master at work. Like, I bet you can't find anything to sell here in this gas station. And I was like, all right, let me see. So I went over to Starbucks because there was a Starbucks in there. Lo and behold, scanning on my app, a bunch of Starbucks mugs of the town that we were in were very profitable on Amazon in the US because people collect these mugs. So I basically, between that and then I was like, oh God, like, this is good. I bought like 20 mugs from there, 30 mugs from Amsterdam. I came back with a suitcase full of Starbucks mugs. It was a profitable trip. I made like 4K.
Yeah, and I don't know if I ever told you this, but Matt's sister actually was doing retail arbitrage at one point.
Really? Yeah, you
And so,
did.
yeah, this is so just my friend's sister started doing retail arbitrage. Like, they know, I do stuff online and everything like that. They never really, I guess she just came upon it and she started doing it, and she was making a few $1,000s a month. And like, she has absolutely no experience in online marketing. She doesn't know anything about it. And so it just goes to show you how beginner friendly it is, because you can go from nothing and you're just getting products that you can sell for more. And she was doing it all online, actually. She wasn't going to clearance stores or anything. So it can be less of a boots on the ground sort of situation if you do it right. But the course that you did was mainly going to clearance sections out in the field, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jessica has tons of other resources, other courses on arbitrage in general right now. I mean, she's really, really great. I actually got really fortunate that that was the first course I bought because,
Yeah.
I could have easily, we've bought courses, we say this all the time. We invest thousands in courses every year on different businesses. And, a lot of the stuff we've invested in turned out like not so good. Like we couldn't get it to work. A lot of just dud courses out there that we bought. But I got extremely lucky on my first one that, Jessica was such a great teacher. There was like a great Facebook group. And so, yeah, I know she has stuff on online arbitrage now. So, part of why we wanted to become an affiliate for her courses was because, I feel very comfortable, saying to our viewers, hey, like you're in good hands with Jessica, because she's been at this for so long. Like she really does it herself. And I mean, I know firsthand that it was really, really great experience. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
We're not going to go and make our own arbitrage course because it's not something we do, but we know it's successful. Joe was doing it back in the day. That's really how we got started. And I have such a distinct memory of being at the Trader Joe's in New York City with Joe.
oof.
And he had two shopping carts, like almost like cartoon style with how full they were with just like tea and random things, like completely overflowing off the top of the cart, just two of them. And I don't even know if they let you buy it all.
I've gotten kicked out of a Trader Joe's. I'm not gonna lie. They kicked me out once, but if you can
And
get
so to me that stuff is fun.
yeah.
What we do kind of bigger and better things now, and it's not worth our time to get into it because we're already so diversified.
Yeah.
But for someone who wants something to do on the weekend, you can just go to these stores and you can see there's no guesswork. I keep saying that. But the downsides are you're all on Amazon. So while you're feeding the beast, it can bite the hand that feeds. It can come down on you for anything really, because when you sign the Amazon terms and conditions, you're basically signing all your rights away to Amazon.
Yeah.
So, and not to mention they'll mislabel things, they'll screw things up. So there's liability with that. But everything is liability, everything has risk. And again, starting out, it is a good entry point.
Definitely. And for those of you who might be skeptical, that like, oh, it wouldn't work or whatever, even though we don't do retail arbitrage anymore, I still am a victim of retail arbitrage because there are some things I buy on Amazon that are clearly arbitraged. Like, for example, my wife really likes like some chapstick from Trader Joe's, and they only carry it in like the winter months or certain times of the year. So when they're not carrying it in stores, we'll pay a little bit extra to the person arbitraging it on Amazon. We'll get like a multi-pack and get it shipped right to our house. So, I mean, retail arbitrage in action right there. And, to kind of make some closing statements here, Mike, one thing I want to mention is that if you're getting started with arbitrage, it's not only fantastic for increasing your cash flow to just get some diversified income other than your job, it's good because it gets you in the right frame of mind of what it takes to succeed online. I had no idea what it would be like to like run a business or anything like that. But it's so with such a low barrier to entry, you can hop right into running a business without just right away. And once you realize it's possible to generate an income on the internet by yourself, it's going to open a lot more doors. That having that knowing that it's possible, I think is very, very important. Would you agree?
Yeah. People comment on our videos that we're fake, even though we're just in our rooms, like not putting on any sort of theatrics when we could make it look way better to kind of get across the idea of trying to sell you something. But people still think what we do is fake because they have no concept in their head that this is real. that it's even possible. So with retail arbitrage, you don't have to believe anybody. You can just spend a couple $100, get the course, and in a couple days you'll have an answer.
Yeah. So that's about it for this one, guys. I'm going to leave a link to Jessica's stuff in the description. And, if you happen to use it, if you happen to use our affiliate link, we really appreciate it. And to show our appreciation, once you do use it and you're kind of getting along, getting some cash flow, just forward us the email saying that you used it, and we'll give you a discount to one of our courses when you're ready to diversify your income. Does that sound good, Mike?
Sounds good to me.
We didn't plan that, but yeah, I figured it's a good idea. So that's about it for this one, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.
Take it easy.